Peace in the workplace. Peace isn't passive, it's a leadership advantage. You can't always control it, but you can lead with it. And in this episode, we will explore the benefits, the why, and the best practices for leaders who protect their peace in order to lead more effectively. Come on and join us here at Transformation Station. Welcome back to Transformation Station, the podcast where resilient leaders rise. Now, let's get straight to it. Leadership is noisy. That's right. It's not quiet, it is noisy. Noisy with what, you may ask? Leadership is noisy with the demands, it is noisy with the people, it is noisy at times with the pace. Leadership is constant, it's continuous, and hopefully you find it to be progressive. But here's the truth: peace is not a luxury. Peace is a leadership tool. I'm going to say that again. Peace is not a luxury. You just can't take for granted that it's going to be peaceful. It being the organization, it being the workplace, it being the people, it being you. But it's a leadership tool. And protecting your peace does not mean retreat. It does not mean avoid. It does not mean dismiss. Protecting your peace isn't retreating, it's recharging to lead well. And today, here in this episode, we're talking about why peace matters in leadership, what it protects you from, and how to build daily practices that keep us centered even in the midst of chaos. Because when peace leads, pressure does not. All right, so let's dive right in. Why is it that peace matters in leadership? Well, I'm going to give you a few reasons. Number one, peace fuels clarity. We all want clarity in leadership. We want clarity in the workspace. We want clarity so that we can complete the mission fully. You think clearer as a leader when you are not operating in constant reactivity. We do not enjoy engaging with employees, with those who we are leading, and they're always being reactive, right? No. But as a leader, we must lead with clarity in a way that is calm, in a way that shows clear vision. You think clearer when you as a leader are not operating in constant reaction mode. Peace creates space for strategy. That's right. Write that down somewhere. Peace creates space for strategy. So that's number one. Peace fuels clarity. Number two, peace supports emotional regulation. This is where many times the chaos, the drama, the problems begin because there is an apparent lack of emotional regulation. Remember this: you, I, leaders, we are less likely to spiral. We are less likely to snap. We are less likely to shut down when we have emotional regulation. And having emotional regulation as a leader creates psychological safety for our teams. This is key and important. Sometimes it's what you say. Sometimes it's not what you say, but what you transmit. The messaging that you put out there that creates safety or a lack of safety for your employees, for your team. And when leaders are able to exhibit, are able to display, are able to put forth emotional regulation, being able to keep your anger, your anxiety, your fear, your frustration in check, not letting that get in the way of leading, not letting that get in the way of assisting, walking beside the team and getting the job done, then we are able to create psychological safety for our team. So number one, peace in the workplace fuels clarity. Number two, peace supports emotional regulation. Number three, peace in the workplace enables better decisions. When a leader, when we are not mentally scrambling, then we are able to make aligned, timely, and wise decisions. And this is gold. Your team has more respect when we as leaders are not mentally scrambling, trying to chase the dream, trying to figure out moment by moment what's going on. But when we are able to make an aligned, timely, wise decision, that enables our team to then replicate that same factor. So, number one, peace fuels clarity. Number two, peace supports emotional regulation. Number three, peace enables better decisions. And number four, peace makes room for presence. Presence is where trust is built. It goes back to the basics. When you are calm, then you are able to fully be present. When you are calm and you are fully present, that opens up the door for your team to fully engage with you without fear of reprisal or reprimands, right? Being able to feel as though they have a voice that they can speak, that they can contribute to the mission, the dream, the goal, how we're going to get it done. Your presence opens or closes the ability of the team to move forward, stand still, or go backwards. So when you bring peace into the workplace, it makes room for presence. And the presence makes room for trust to be built. Anything you can't walk away from owns you. And peace is the ability to pause, reflect, and lead forward. I'm going to say that again. Anything you can't walk away from owns you. Peace is the ability to pause, reflect, and lean forward. Okay. Number two. Now we must ask ourselves, what happens when leaders lose their peace? I know we all have examples of a leader that led us that lost their peace and the impact. We always also have examples from our own experience of when we lost our peace and the impact that that had on our team. I have an example from this past week. I was having a staff meeting this past week, and one of the individuals that I lead said something or did something that triggered something inside me, and I reacted. Boom. The room got still. I tried to walk it back. Hey, I'm sorry, but it was one of those moments where everybody just kind of said, "Ooh, what happened?" And we got through the meeting, but the air was still a little uncomfortable. It's a little unsettling. But I didn't know how to fix it in that moment because I felt frustrated, but I didn't totally understand why I frustrated. I mean, I knew why I was frustrated by what they did, but why it triggered me to that point, I wasn't sure. And so I went back to my office and I sat and I thought about it and said, you know what, I need to sleep on this and then figure out what is the best way to correct and then usher peace back in. Had some time to reflect. The next morning in the team meeting, I said, I want to revisit what happened in our meeting yesterday. And I did not revisit it from a feeling standpoint. I revisited it from a factual, historical standpoint. We had a meeting. This was said. This was my reaction. This is how the meeting ended. And then I went back to say, okay, this is what happened. Let me explain to you why it triggered me the way it did. And then to the individual that triggered, then I said, is that what you intended for me to understand in that moment? And the individual said, no, it was not their intention to trigger me. Their reaction in the meeting was natural to them and to what they thought was the right mode at the moment. We just simply had a clash. And so we were able to have a clarifying conversation and then bring peace back into the team, bring that sense of stability and security back into the team and said, okay, going forward, we understand each other. And now we know how to continue to engage each other. Woo! There was freedom that was felt by the team in total when we had that clarifying conversation. What happens when leaders lose their peace? Number one, there's a disconnection. And when there is a disconnection, we as leaders begin to lead from autopilot, not from intention. Our ability to lead fully and wholeheartedly is inhibited when we are disconnected. Number two, when we lose our peace, there's an overreaction. Many times we end up saying things that are sharper, having an attitude, or making decisions that are not thought out, or making decisions that sometimes are retributive in character. We become reactive instead of responsive. Number three, an erosion of trust. When we lose our peace in the workplace, our team senses the stress and they either mirror our stress or they pull away from it. So it doesn't work for us, does it? No, it doesn't. And number four, burnout accelerates. Because when we don't have inner peace, every conflict becomes a crisis. I'm going to say that one more time. When we do not have inner peace, every conflict becomes a crisis. I have seen this firsthand. One with myself, because I'm on edge now. Everything is like monumental. I'm reacting to everything and not thinking things through clearly. And I've also seen it on teams that I have been on, because without inner calm, we're trying to fix, move, do, instead of letting there be a natural flow, asking the right questions, seeking to understand before we seek to be understood. And so I want to ask you right now to ask yourself this question. Am I leading from grounded presence or from constant urgency? At least once a week, whether it's at the beginning of the week, the middle of the week, or the end of the week, at least once a week, every leader should ask themselves this reflective question. Am I leading from grounded presence or from constant urgency? And as always, I want to invite you not to just ask yourself the question, but answer yourself. Take some time in whatever note-taking device you have, whether it's on your phone, your iPad, your laptop, or an actual journal. Take some time to write this question down. Am I leading from grounded presence or from constant urgency? And then take the time to answer the question, because again, you want clarity. So what happens when leaders lose their peace? Today, we talked about four things, and that is one, disconnection happens. Number two, overreaction tends to take place. And number three, erosion of trust begins to settle in. And finally, number four, burnout accelerates. So now we look at best practices to protect and leverage peace. Hey, I like that. Practices to protect and leverage. Protect and leverage. Well, I'm going to give you 7 best practices to protect and to leverage peace. Number 1, I want to invite you to start your day with stillness. You know, they say the attitude of gratitude, right? Start off your day. You wake up your eyes, you're getting ready through your day. Practice the pause. Even if it's just 5 minutes. 5 minutes to just stop, be still, be grateful that you're in this day. Before you take on all of the taskers, be intentional with ushering in peace into your own mind, your heart, and your spirit. You may take 5 minutes to meditate. Just be quiet, hear the sounds around you, just be aware of you and what you're feeling and you're sensing. You may take 5 minutes to do a devotional, right? Maybe you have a spiritual walk, a spiritual practice, and you take some time to read, pray, sing, meditate, just usher it in. You may take 5 minutes to just stop and just think clearly of your goals and the goals you have for that day, right? This gives you the opportunity to, as you're walking forward into the day, you're walking forward with intention, and then you're setting yourself up to lead with intention. Number 2, we're talking about best practices, right? To lead and to leverage, to protect your peace and to leverage your peace. Number two, name what might be disrupting your peace. Is it a person? Is it a deadline? Is it a mindset? Be aware. Be aware of what it is that possibly could be disrupting your peace. Because awareness enables you to build boundaries. Awareness enables you to be able to figure out how you will engage with what is disrupting your peace, not leaving it up to chance, but being intentional with knowing, understanding the rules of engagement, and already having a vision for how you will walk forward. Number three, create recovery margins. I love this. That means block space after heavy meetings. Don't just go from one heavy meeting to the next. I had to learn that because I'm a workaholic. I have to admit that, right? And I will go from one thing to the next, one, boom, boom, boom. But I realized very quickly, especially in the job that I have now, after a meeting, as much as possible, I have to give myself at least 15 to 30 minutes, breathe, debrief, collect my thoughts, and get ready for the next. So create recovery margins. Remember that peace needs breathing room. Number four, protect your inputs. What you listen to, what you scroll through, or what you surround yourself with either feeds chaos or feeds clarity. I'm going to say that again. What you listen to, what you scroll through, what you surround yourself with, it either feeds chaos or it feeds clarity. I have learned throughout my day in my office, when I'm really stressed, I put on music. Music is like medicine to my soul. If I am putting on something and I have a heavy day, I can't listen to the news. I can't listen to too many things on social media. I have to listen to something inspirational. I have to listen to something on leadership that feeds what I need my mind to focus on through the day. If I'm feeling less than courageous, then I want to listen to Brené Brown. I want to listen to Eric Thomas. I want to listen to others who are talking about being courageous in leadership. John Maxwell, right? If I'm having challenges with strategic things, then I want to have strategic inputs around me, because your mind pays attention to what we listen to, what we scroll through, and what we surround ourselves with. Number five, use silence as strategy. This is really important. You don't have to fill every gap with words. Sometimes we feel this internal pressure that when there is silence, we must say something. No. Sometimes silence says a whole message all by itself. You don't have to fill every gap with words. Peaceful leaders speak with precision. Sometimes silence says deeply what you cannot say with words. Number six, reclaim your end of the day rhythm. Do not carry the day into your evening. I'm going to say that again. Do not carry your day into the evening. When the work day is over, how can you allow that day to truly be over and not bleed into your evening, into your night, into the rest of the day activities? Choose closure. How can you choose closure for your day? This is something that I haven't personally had to be very intentional. I am the type where I will get up in the morning and start the day off with work, go through the middle of the day with work, end of the day with work, taking to work at home. But I have a leader that I'm working with now who, when the day is over, the day is over. If there's emergency things, then fine. But outside of that, the day is over. We'll pick it back up tomorrow. We're talking about protecting your peace. We're talking about leveraging your peace. How can you choose closure for your day? This is really important because you see, there are health benefits that comes with protecting our peace. Health benefits. For example, we have lower stress and anxiety when we choose to protect and leverage our peace. You're able to forgive. You're able to forgive. You're able to forgive on a deeper level when we choose to protect our peace and leverage the peace. And forgiveness reduces chronic anxiety, stress, and hostility, and improves the emotional balance and life satisfaction. When we choose to protect our peace from a health benefit standpoint, we have better physical fitness, better physical health. Why? Because we tend to have more energy to get in the gym, to go for the walk, to ride that bike, to do the yoga class, to move up and down the stairs, to go and spend time with our family. We tend to have more energy to be able to engage in physical fitness, which then lowers heart disease, improves cholesterol levels, and boosts our immune system. And from a health benefit standpoint, when we protect and leverage our peace, we have higher forgiveness, which correlates with reduced depression and greater self-esteem and overall happiness. We're talking about protecting and leveraging our peace. That was number 6. And finally, number 7, when we protect and leverage our peace, we model peace. And when we model peace, our team will mimic our emotional tone. We're the leader. They play off of how we engage. And so when we model peace, we teach peace to those that we lead, and they mimic it. Leading from peace gives them permission to breathe also. Leadership that moves from pressure burns out. Leadership that moves from peace builds legacy. That's right. This is a Transformation Station Adrian Benton quote right here. Leadership that moves from pressure burns out. Leadership that moves from peace builds legacy. Are you leading from pressure and causing burnout, encouraging burnout? Or are you leading from peace and building legacy? There was a senior leader that I once worked with, constantly cool-headed, even in chaos. And one day I asked, "How do you stay so steady?" He responded, "I stopped needing to be the loudest voice in the room, and I started needing to be the most grounded." I have not forgot that. Listen to his response again. I stopped needing to be the loudest voice in the room, and I started needing to be the most grounded. What is your leadership need that you're using as a priority in how you're leading? You see, the magnet for that leader was trust. And he shifted from being needed to be the loudest voice to being needed to be the most grounded. And as he shifted, he became a magnet for trust, not because he had all the answers, but because he made others feel safe enough to find the answers in the peace that he created. I'm asking you today, here's your journal prompt. What is one practice that you can build this week to protect your peace and lead better because of it? Again, I invite you to get your journal, write that question. Here's the question again. What is one practice that I can build this week to protect my peace and lead better because of it? Write it down in your journal, your notes, your iPad, your laptop. Write it down and then write the answer. And commit to the answer. This is where the change happens. I also want to invite you to share your answer or tag a leader who models grounded leadership, because it's important for you and I to normalize leading from stillness and not from stress. All right. So in this episode here, as we close off here, I want to remind you, peace isn't passive. It's quiet. It's a quiet form of power. It doesn't shrink from your leadership, but no, it sharpens it. So this week, protect your peace. This week, lead with presence. This week, lead powerfully because you're protecting and you're leveraging your peace. And as always, I want to invite you to stay grounded, stay growing, and keep on transforming.